Today we are doing an oil change on our new Land Cruiser. This is going to be the break-in oil change, which I wanted to do at 500 miles, but we're going to do it at about 480. We'll double check right now before I start. Anyways, we were in Japan for 2 weeks, and since everything's settled well onto the bottom as much as it's going to be, I'm choosing to do the oil change now. We went with Castrol Edge 0W20. And then we've got the OEM oil filter, which you see the part number right there. Here is the OEM crush washer. No part number here, but I'll link it at the bottom of the description of this video. And this guy right here is actually an oil filter cutter. So this guy is actually metal, which I do prefer. I don't like those canister cartridge filters. I prefer this better. But I decided to get the filter cutter so that way we can open up the one that comes out and just inspect it. Since it's the first one, there should be some metal shavings. Hopefully nothing crazy, but you and I are going to find out together. This is the first new vehicle I've ever purchased. All the other ones have been slightly used, but this is brand spanking new. So we're going to be taking care of this from day one up until the very end. But for now, we're going to see how many miles this has because I forgot. Okay, so we're at 465. Not as close to 500 as I would like it to be. But either way, I'm not going to worry about it too much. It is the break-in oil change. I don't know if I will be doing one at 1,000 or 3,000. I guess I'm just going to see how I feel about it then. And before I go down to the bottom, we're going to pop off the oil fill cap and see if this actually fits. This is my snap-on oil filter kit. So I have the Toyota adapter and it works just like it does on every other one. They actually don't make this anymore, but I'll link the closest one I could find online in the description below. This orange piece separates from this adapter and you can use it on several different cars with multiple adapters. It's actually really handy when you need it. Under the passenger side, we've got these 12 mils holding on a cover. So we'll pop those off. We're going to take this skid off in the front. So there's going to be 2 tabs right here that slide in, and they've got a hook going up, so you gotta have to slide it and kick it out a bit. From there, you're gonna have access to the oil filter, which is right here, and it's got a nice little spout right here, so hopefully it clears the frame, no problem. And now we're ready to drain. This is a 14 millimeter on an extension, so I just broke it loose, and we're gonna make sure we drain it all in this pan. All right, it's gonna be a little tricky here. So we're gonna pop the extension off this wrench, put on the oil filter tool. That one just has springs, so when you reverse it out, it tightens up the grip on the filter. Man, they're always so tight, brand new. Oh, that's a perfect pour right into the pan. And if you look back there, oh, it's really hard to see, but way back in the corner, it is still draining the oil. So I've got this diagonally catching both right now. But once we get this off, we'll clean it up. You see those little bits floating down? That is metal shavings. Totally expected from a brand new motor, but again, the exact reason why we're doing this oil change. I'm gonna give it just a light Scotch-Brite to make sure that there's nothing that's gonna get in the way of a perfect seal. Wipe it all down. And we are ready for a new oil filter. Okay, so I popped off the plastic seal, which is basically just keeping debris from coming in a new oil filter, and it's holding in the grease that they put on the O-ring. So we're going to go ahead and dry this up, put some oil on the threads, and hand tighten it. You don't need to go super crazy on this. You just hand tighten it as good as you can. Okay, it's always very important to make sure that you don't double gasket the drain plug. So this one was stuck to the oil pan, but we're gonna toss that because that's the old one. And just like the oil filter housing, we're going to scrub it down a little bit and make sure that it's got a nice sealing surface. There you could still see some of that remainder of the blue from the old drain plug washer. I might need something more aggressive. Almost there. We are going to be torquing this to 21 foot-pounds. Now we can get this out the way. And we're ready to put on the covers. Don't forget to get yourself a little paint pan. That way you can mark the drain plug to the pan and just keep an eye on for any movement. There we go. So I got 6 quarts of oil for this thing. It calls for 5.9 quarts at with an oil filter change. Always be sure to make sure that none of this aluminum is going to go down when you fill the oil. It has happened before to other people, so just be safe. But right now we're going to toss this entire 5 quart in, and I'll pull the dipstick just to see where we're at before firing it up. Okay, we are Let's see if I can show you guys. With just 5 quarts, we are right about here. So I'm gonna put about 3/4 of the last quart and start it, and then I'll double check before topping it off. I don't want to put too much oil in it, and I really don't know if these numbers are accurate yet since it's my first time doing it. Okay, so we're just at about 1/8 of a quart remaining. Should be the sweet spot just to feel it out a little bit. All right, keys in hand, we are ready to start this thing. So we'll fire it up. And we're gonna make sure that everything cycles through the engine before turning it off. Now we can go ahead and check the oil level because we know all the oil has filtered through the motor and the new oil filter. Okay, so with the full 6 quarts, I am right here where the crease of that thumb glove or the glove is. The crease right there is where I'm showing. So we are still about maybe a 1/2 quart of oil, give or take. So I'm gonna say this takes about 6.5 quarts. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get to the oil reset procedure. I just held this button down until I found settings. From there, you could hit OK. We're gonna go down to vehicle info. And then we're gonna hold it. And we'll keep going down. You can see the cursor on the right that goes down with it. Scheduled maintenance, oil maintenance. We're gonna hit OK and hold it. So right now we're at 9,531 remaining, but I do want to reset it because we did the oil change. So now we have done the reset complete. Let's click this and see what it shows. So 9,999 is the default for the oil interval on the new Land Cruiser. We don't need to reset it since it's done. So now I'm just gonna hit back and see, let's see here. So when I toggled through to find settings and hit OK and held it, it leaves it there by default. So I'm gonna hit OK again, go all the way back up to blank, hit OK, and we are back to normal. So now that that's all done, we're going to go ahead and get to the fun part and open up the oil filter. If you look on this mount, there's 2 holes. I did try to use it with the setting it originally came in, but this wouldn't press far enough on, so I just unscrewed this nut, transferred into the secondary holes, and now we've got way more room to get these blades on. So if you've ever built your own brake lines and whatnot, there's a little disc in here that cuts, and these are actual bearings that are going to allow you to spin the filter. So you're just going to tighten it and spin it, and it'll slowly cut the oil filter. And it might be a good thing to have some oil on the O-ring because it'll allow it to keep sliding on the actual red housing itself of the tool. And you don't want to go super crazy on these small types of cutting discs because you can break them. So you just slowly work it in, do a full rotation, and then tighten it up. And just keep going all the way. And this is super slippery. Keep going all the way till it comes out. I feel like we might have broke through it. Oh yeah, you hear that? We went pretty much all the way, but there's about a half of this filter that's stuck. There we go. There we go. See those small chunks of shininess? That's going to be your braking metal. Small little pieces are good. Giant chunks are scary. And even worse when you see gold copper, which is going to be rod bearings. So right here, I'm just looking through the filter element itself. Let's see if I can get you a better look. See that stuff that it caught? This one's not too bad at all. There's some pieces of the filter that have pretty big pieces of dirt, but not too worried. I just more so wanted to use this tool to check it out, just get more of a better insight on how the engine's doing since it's brand new, and we're really not seeing anything to worry about, which I would totally expect on a brand new engine from Toyota. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I totally appreciate it. Drop a comment, like, subscribe. Either one is going to help the algorithm boost these types of videos up to even more people that are interested. Obviously, we're still a little bit low on the oil, so I'm going to run to the auto parts store in the Tacoma, top this thing off, and then we'll wash off all the ash from the recent fires. As you've seen, the oil filter is looking amazing. The oil that came out looks great. We figured out how to reset the oil maintenance light, all on the first time of working on this Land Cruiser. So I'm really stoked to be the owner of this thing. I love them. Some people hate them, some people love them. I love it, the wife loves it, and I can't wait to start modding it, putting some wheels, tires, doing some overlanding off-road oriented things like air compressor, rock lights, the whole deal. So this is definitely going to get more mods and will be on the channel much more in the future.